Friends, welcome to my video. In this video, we'll see how to create a Firebase real-time database based calendar app in Android 13 or API level 33 and above. So let's begin. We'll create a new project, probably an empty activity. We can name this as Firebase calendar app. You can name it anything, it doesn't matter. And I will choose API 33 Android 13, which is the latest one. Click finish. Wait for my environment to load, and I'll pause the video and wait for the environment to load up. Perfect. My environment has come up, and before I do anything, I'll also do one thing. I'll quickly start this app in an emulator. So I'll choose the Pixel 6 API 33, so that my emulator also loads up in the meantime. And now I'll start. So probably I'll start with my layout file, just the XML file. And over here, what I'll do is I will by default, I think I can minimize this, and I can probably minimize this as well to a certain extent. And okay, I have to wait. Probably this. I'm not sure why this layout is not appearing. Okay, so I can see something. Okay, so it's also says launching Pixel 6. So I think emulator it would be launching. So related take time. No problem. In the meantime, what we can do is we can complete our layout. So what we need is we'll need first and foremost a calendar view, which can be taken as a date picker or choose the dates. Okay, so I think probably I can keep it at the top. And what else I can do is I can just probably remove this text view. I don't need text view for calendar view. ID has to be calendar view, and I can give some constraints. And what else we'll need is we'll need a plain text which we can use to enter the inputs, like we'll be storing certain events on this, and that is what we can use over here. And we can choose a button to save the event, so we can name it, probably save. Okay, first I'll give the constraints, and also I'll name it as where is it, no, not the id, I'm looking for the name of the, okay, it's over here, the text. So save uh, the save event. I don't know if it takes such a long name. It's taking up. And if I come back here, I think I might miss out to give the constraints over here. That's why it's giving the error. Perfect. Also, from my layout perspective, I'm done. When the emulator has come up, so but I will minimize it for the time being. Perfect. Now what I will do is I will go to the Java code and create some class variables using which I can associate myself to the calendar view and the other objects over there in the layout. So one is the calendar view, and the other one is the plain text, which is basically edit text, edit text, edit text. Perfect. And now probably I can assign these class variables to the widgets in my r.id in my layout. So calendar view. Similarly, I think for edit text I have to check what was the id given. So if I go back here, it's something long which I don't like it. I'll just give edit text. Yeah, refactor. It will automatically take care if these uses anyone else. Perfect. So I'll use the same find by id r dot id dot, no, not edit text. Perfect. Okay. So now I will also create one class variable. Not class variable. Sorry, it's the public method, and this method will be basically button save event. So this we can associate with the on click attribute of the this one button. So if I come back quickly here and I scroll down, somewhere here on click attribute I can click here, and that's it. No, further what I can do is in this coming back to the Java code, I can set in the calendar view some kind of listener set on click. I think this should be fine. But I can also see if there is something called on date on date change listener. So we can use either this on date change listener or this on click listener. And what we can do is we can then assign or create a new view on click listener, and then over here in this on click we can set the method which has to be called. However, what I will do is I will not use this on click listener. I'll go to and use the other one which is on date change listener, and I'll tell you what's the advantage there. Let me first put that on date change listener, yeah, and then new on date change listener. Yeah, the advantage over here what you will get is on selected date change, this calendar will return my me the date of the selected date on the calendar. So basically I is the year as far as I know, this is month, and then this is the day. So I can, what I can do is I can convert it into some kind of string. So let me quickly create a class variable for this as well. Private string date selected. Okay, and in this method what I can do is string date selected. I can use this I dot to string. Oh, okay. So I think I will have to change use that integer dot, I think, to string, yes, and then I can give the I, and similarly what I can do is plus the other two, control C control V, yeah, and this will be I2 and this will be I1. One thing to note is, as far as I know, month starts from the 0th month in this calendar. I don't know why. So we may have to add +1 over here. Anyway, it doesn't matter because we won't be playing too much with the dates here. This will be automatically feed it into the database. So we'll see how it will happen. Okay, so this is whenever this particular calendar is in this layout selected, so this particular method will be called and we will get our string value with the date. However, we should also do one thing. We should also call a method. Probably what we can do is this will be of course a private method, and we can name this method as probably calendar click. I think it doesn't matter, and I think that's all. And I can call this method from here, which is calendar click method. So yeah, whenever the date is changed, we will be doing our operations under this particular method, and whenever we want to save the event, we can use this particular method. Just to refresh my layout, in the emulator I can just probably rerun it and wait for my emulator to get updated with the whatever changes I have done till now. Of course nothing will happen because functionality wise we have hardly added anything. Yeah, but I just want to keep my emulator up to date. Okay, now let's get into the interesting part, which is the Firebase database. So till now we have not integrated the Firebase database. So let's go to the our browser and create a Firebase database. So go to this console firebase.google.com and under your account. So I've already created a couple of projects. If nothing is created, it will be blank this page. Nevertheless, you have to go to this button add project, and you can name this project anything. So I'll say name it as Firebase Calendar App. Okay, you can name this anything, it doesn't matter. Click continue and it will ask you a lot of options. Since it's a demo, so I'll just disable this. I don't want Google Analytics, but if it's a full-fledged app, so this I will recommend that you keep it as on. Click next, and it may take a while to create a project, so just hold on. So it is still processing. Yeah, so perfect, it's done. Click continue. So it will create a project and let you go straight into the project. Right now there is no other app is associated with this, so it gives options of whether iOS, Android, or web, or even I think Unity and Windows also is there. Yeah, so I will start with Android app, and here you have to register your app. So first and foremost is package name, which you will probably get from your first line of your app, which is this one. Just copy paste this completely and Go here. Nickname, probably I will leave it blank over here, but you can name it if you want to name something. And this is also optional, but I'll highly recommend that you give SHA1 information. So how you can do it is you can go to Gradle and over here just signing report and run it, and you will get. So I'm getting some error here instead of getting the value, and I'm not sure what went wrong. So let me try it again. Okay, so I think the mistake is the space I have left. There should remain a space. So make sure when you, okay, I'll show it again. So when you're giving, make sure signing report is no space into it. So this is a separate page also on this particular thing on my website. So just search with SHA1 and you will get the this information for this how to fetch SHA information in the Android Studio. Okay, so once you have it, just copy this whatever the length of the string you get and just paste it over here. Perfect. Then click on register app. It may take a while again. In the meantime, I'll go back to my Android Studio and change it from this whatever the Firebase calendar signing report to app back. And also I'll quickly check in emulator. So emulator also looks good now. Probably I'll minimize the other things to see it in a bigger size. Yeah, so I can see, yeah, my calendar has come up. There is an edit text and there is a save event thing. Perfect. If I quickly go back to my yeah registration page in the console, Firebase console, and I get a JSON file to download. So that's an important file. Just download it and then go to the download folder and copy paste it somewhere over here. I'll show you. Go to the project option and over here under the app to paste it over here. Yeah, so I have copied this file in my clipboard. So I'll go back to my Android Studio and over here you can just control V and then I think just click OK and it should appear somewhere over here like this. So if I quickly switch back to my uh, uh, the console over here, also they have shown it in a screenshot that where it should appear. Very good. Now click next, and this is an important part which you should understand nicely. So you have to configure the Gradle files. There are two Gradle files. One is at the project level and the other one is at the app level. So I'll show you one by one both. So first, let me take you to the project level Gradle file. So I think I'll switch back to the Android yeah, mode. At least it's easier for me to understand the structure over here. And you can see the two Gradle files here. One is the project level and one is the module level. So first I'll go to the build.gradle file at the project level. And over here what it says is in this file what you should do is you should add these lines over there. So I'll just copy paste the complete thing. Okay, one thing which I like to show more what it's trying to do over here is in the build script, it's trying to add the repositories. Basically it's telling your environment from which repos it should fetch the certain libraries which is going to add in the dependency. However, in our Android Studio, at least in my environment, what I can see is this settings are already done in the settings.gradle file. So it's already referring to the correct Google and Maven central repository. So that's why it's not required for me to add. However, if one really wants, you can add it, but make sure build script goes before plugins. Otherwise, it will give some error. So you add here build script thing. All projects I don't think we need it definitely. So I can just remove it all together. And these three dots and all I don't think I need, and that's all I think. Oh, as I'm telling, in my environment already these things are taken care in the settings.gradle file, so you may not need in the project level. However, adding it doesn't harm. So in simple words, yeah, so you can definitely add it. Now if I quickly go back to my console again for the settings, how to set up the environment. So now it says me to go to the app level Gradle file and add this thing. So let me quickly go to the app level Gradle file, and what it says is in the plugins I have to add these two lines. So I think the first line is already there. I will just add the second line. So I copied this, and the first itself is the plugins, and I just add the Google services over here in the plugins. And now what it says is to add the dependencies, which is this one. So I copied it. If I come back here and So this is BOM, which is basically bill of material. And if I go back here, to do's, add the dependencies for Firebase products you may want to use when using BOM. Don't specify version in Firebase dependencies. So you can refer to this site for the applicable dependencies. Yeah. So I will do one thing. I'll just quickly open this in a new tab. So Control C. Yeah. So I open it in a new tab, and what I can see is it has the available libraries below. Yeah. So once you have set up the BOM, which is the latest version 31.1.1, you don't have to specify the versions for the individual services or products, whatever you are going to add. So of course it gives a long list. I don't think we need all these things. So what I will need is um, probably Firestore. I'm not sure, but yeah, it doesn't harm. So I'll just take this, go to my environment, and okay, so I think I have to add it, implementation. Okay, what is I need is probably some kind of database also. So let me quickly go here, see if there's something called Firebase database. Okay, and I'm not getting it. Okay, so it's somewhere below over here. Yeah, so it's basically real-time database. Okay, and I quickly go here, I add this as well. And what else I'll need is probably, I think this should be sufficient. If you're also looking for some kind of in-app messaging and all, you can do all these things, but otherwise I think that's all will be sufficient. Probably what I will do, I'll just add this messaging also, but yeah, it's not required as far as I understand, but definitely it doesn't harm to add this. Control Z. I'm not sure why backslash t is also coming. Yeah, this should be fine. Now just click sync now. It may take a while to download all these dependencies and sync. You may have to wait, but yeah, in the meantime, I'll do over here. I'll create another class variable called database reference, and this is a part of Firebase database reference. If you see, just press Alt Enter. Okay, to import a class, and once it's done, what we can do is we can use this variable, the class variable, to access our database. So what I'll do is I'll just create a database which is Firebase database dot get instance. I think yeah, this is the right one, and then get reference. And over here I can inside this you can leave it blank also. Probably I'll mark it as a some kind of string you can give. I'll tell you why. Probably I'll quickly show you what happens. Okay, so I think this part we are done. So I'll go back to my registration page again. I think we are done here. So I just click next and continue to the console. So once you have created your first app, which is Firebase Calendar app, and you can see over here the package name and all, what you can do is you can go to the, I think, the build real-time database, and inside this you may have to create a database, and yeah, I will leave it US. You can use Singapore, Belgium as well, but I will leave it US. Yeah, here they are giving two modes, log mode or test mode. I'll recommend that in the start you can use the test mode, and advantage is by default it will take care of all the settings, and it will enable the access to your database in a public manner, like it will be an open thing. If you do a lock mode, then you have to take care of the authentication also at the start, which may be a bit of troublesome for the beginners. So just take it in a test mode, click create, and then it comes to this page. Let me quickly show you what happens since we have chosen the test mode, not a lock mode. So this is the things which gets updated here. So if you notice here, the rules are read and write both are allowed until a particular period, which I think around 30 days period is the time frame what it gives. So until this condition is met, read and write is allowed. You can change these rules, and then yeah, and then you can restrict the access to this database by anyone. Nevertheless, we have this database now, and why I gave that calendar as the reference over here is so that the node, when it creates anything or any data over here, the node it creates is of calendar. It starts with calendar over here. Perfect. So this is all I wanted to show you in from the setting up the environment perspective. Now let's play the interesting part, which is inserting and reading the data from this database, the reference for which we already have. So, say for example, whenever a person clicks this button, save button in the layout. So, okay, let me open the emulator. So, it will choose a date and some string it will give, and then click on save event, which is basically it's calling this particular method to save this particular things, whatever the event it is in the Firebase database. So, what we can do is we can do set or no, before that probably we can go to a child, and this child will be the identifier based on the date. So date we are already getting over here, which is basically this one, and then we can also set the value over here, which is any object, and that object what we will do is we'll get it from this edit text, get text, and then to string. Perfect. So this will be, I think, sufficient for me to set the value of any of these things in the database. So let me quickly rerun and update this particular app and see if it works or not. And then we'll go ahead and update this particular method as well, which is basically a read method. Right now it's only a write method. We'll also update the read method later on. So let's wait. So my environment has come up. So let me just minimize and let me just select some date, probably randomly 2nd of whatever January, and probably I'll give name to save event, and let me see in the database whether it appeared or not. So let me go quickly to the database. Perfect. So if you see this calendar node, that's what I was talking of, and it has come as a key value pair. So key is the date, which is 2023, first is January, and second is the date what we chose, and that value what we entered in the string is name 2 over here, which has come up here. We can similarly do is we can choose some other date, which is 5th of January, and click save event, and accordingly I think a new entry is here. Perfect. So we can keep on going and saving our events or whatever. You don't have to be same as this date, but that what I'm putting that way so that it's easy to understand that this corresponds to 16th of January, this corresponds to 5th of January, and so on and so forth. Perfect. Now let's quickly complete this part also, so that it's more fun to see how we can retrieve or read the event from database. So this method is also pretty simple. What we have to do is we have to again use that same database reference, and over here of course the child will be this one based on the date which is selected, and then what we can do is we can set some kind of listener over here. So add listener for single value. Perfect. And here we can create new value event listener, and that's it. So here you'll get by default two methods. One is the on date change and on cancel. So I think we'll just need is on date change, and a snapshot is something which will already have the snapshot of that database at that particular point of time. And of course at this child level, from this child level node we will have the database. So what we can do is first and foremost let's quickly check whether this snapshot is null or not. So get value. If this is not null, then what we can do is probably we can set it in the edit text, probably set text, and to set the text what we can do is we can take this snapshot dot get value, and then we can change it to string format. Perfect. But if it's not there, probably what we can do is we can still set something in the edit text, which is basically set text, and we can set none, just to understand that okay there was no value, that's why it's returning null over here, so it will print null over here. So I think that's all from my perspective. Let me quickly rerun this code and see whether it works or not. Hopefully it will work. Rerunning, I think it has come up. So let me select some dates. Okay, so I before saving it, because our database already have certain values. It has values for 2nd of Jan, 5th of Jan, and 16th of Jan. So let me try those values first. So let me try 2nd of Jan. Perfect. So I can see, okay, let me zoom in case it's not visible. I can see Jan, name 2 is come. If I select 5th, it's coming. 16th is coming. Probably if I select 8, it is null because there's no nothing is still added in the 8. So I can just do one thing, 8 and null, 8 and 8, save event. And if we quickly go here, perfect, we get a new entry, null 8 and 8 over here in the database. I can select probably 10, which is again null, 16 is name 666, 1666, whatever. I go back to 8 and this way I get null 8, 8, 8, 8. Yeah. Perfect. So I just wanted to show you such a simple steps how easy it is to create your own Firebase database, and you can store your events, your reminders, everything in this database. Of course, in this code I've shown you only one event to be selected, but if you want to really have multiple events in the same date, you may have to do that indexing. That's it. But I want to keep the code simple and easy for my everyone to easily understand. You can easily scale up this particular code to meet your other requirements. So that's all. I hope this video is useful to you. And yeah, if you have any questions or suggestions, then please put in the comment section below. And if you like this video, then please subscribe to my channel. Thank you and have a nice day. Bye.